All right, so without further ado, Phil, could you please join us on stage and tell people about ArDrive?
Hey, thank you, Sam. Let me share my screen. I did prepare a few slides that I'll just kind of whip through here. Always appreciate the opportunity to speak about ArDrive, but I wanted to maybe just share kind of some information around our apps, our community, and some of the technology that we're using, titled Going 0 to 60 with ArDrive. My name is Phil Mataras, the founder of the ArDrive community. I used to be a systems architect at a big company. I'm a node operator and love to mine different cryptocurrencies, and I've been an Arweaver since way back, possibly one of my favorite communities really I've ever been to. And here really I'm representing the ArDrive community and our ever-expanding team, the core drivers. They're really the engine behind everything that our community is doing, and I wouldn't be here today really without the continual hard work of everybody. And it's just great to see how big the team is getting. But why do we even have this community around the technology we're building? Really, what's our purpose? And it's simple. It's to support, learn, and inspire one another to build and enhance the awareness of our mission, right? That's like our community's purpose. But what's our mission? Well, that's just as simple. We want to get permanent storage in the hands of everyone. There's over 2 billion people in the world using those kind of cloud Dropbox-like services, and we think many of them have some data that they would want to store forever. So to do that, we've been working on some cross-platform file sync apps built using Arweave's immutable and decentralized storage. We're really focusing on an intuitive user interface. Your files can be either completely private, where you are the only ones who have access to them, or they could be public globally around the world, right? It's very fast and easy to share both public and private files. You're only paying for what you store, right? It's always free to read, no subscriptions, and it's owned by the community. You can see here that we've had some growth over the past few months, and I love sharing some of the stats around that. Especially when it comes to data uploaded. We just crossed our 2 terabyte mark, which is awesome to see. I think we hit the 2nd terabyte much faster than the first. And the other interesting thing is that we've gotten over 2,000 ARN fees to the network and to our community. The revenue model for the community is very straightforward. We apply our community tip to all data uploaded to our platforms and apps. And those tips go to our community token holders, right? So we do have a profit sharing community built on Arweave as well. And that token doesn't just let users share the in-app revenue, but you can stake them to participate in any of the community governance, finance, voting around what's happening with our apps. And we're always looking for new ways to expand the utility of that token, whether it's staking it to earn other settings or achievements, or maybe spending the token on specific kinds of features. The community, luckily, has been pretty successful the past few months. I have some accomplishments just to mention, right? We finished our seed round. That was tremendous in kind of the history of ArDrive. Really unlocked the team expansion and some of the growth that we've done the past couple months. We just announced our ArtConnect integration. We finally got a couple really great payment providers to offer a fiat on-ramp for Arweave. We worked with the charity team and made a donation there, and are looking to really kind of spur the using profit sharing communities in the scope of charities. We also just released our public knowledge base. I mentioned we hit that 2 terabyte mark, which is really great to see. And we just started testing our new native mobile app. So that's something else that we're looking at releasing soon. And there's still tons that we have to do. Maybe let's switch gears and just talk a little bit to the developers, a little bit more technically inclined in the audience. And I just want to talk about kind of the protocol behind ArDrive, called the Arweave File System, or ARFS. And the goal for ARFS is really to create this open PermaWeb. And to do that, we created this append-only transaction data model, which really allows a file system to be created on Arweave. So with that, you can have these kinds of files, and you can have different versioning, renaming, moving, custom metadata, all those things you would expect, like a local hard drive. There's a defined encryption process that supports the end-to-end privacy that ArDrive offers. And then all the data that's put into the Arweave file system standard can be queried by any application that's using Arweave GraphQL. And that data model is very flexible. It uses different, what we call entities, to reflect that file system state. Those entities, like a drive, folder, or file, have their own defined schema, and each one has its own unique UUID. And what we do is we split that metadata between GraphQL tags and an encoded JSON file. So that JSON metadata can be encrypted when needed, and it can be vastly expanded when needed as well. Files themselves require a single transaction for data and another one for the metadata, and that's how we can really separate both, so you can continually update the metadata without having to change the original file. Our ArDrive Core library does offer our Weave file system and some of the benefits that you can maybe use to unlock some capabilities in your next project. So of course, it gives easy access to methods for using the ArWeave file system, upload, download, query, etc. All the components in there are kind of battle tested in the ArDrive apps. Gives you that privacy that's kind of not available with the the default ArWeave.js. And then once the files are tagged, you can view, organize, and share all of that data through the ArDrive apps. So you'll always benefit from any updates or other things that we include going down the line. Offer everyone the ability to read more, check out our knowledge base, check out our GitHub. You can always reach out to me or anyone on the team, and we would love to learn about your use case and really see how ArDrive and ArWeave file system can help you out.
Yeah, I think the RFS, or I'm not sure, are we calling it ARFS?
That's my nickname for it,
Yeah. Okay. I think the ARFS is a huge deal for lots of developers in the ecosystem, because really, it was one of those components that it wasn't clear we needed until we had it, and then it was like, oh wow, that's just like a 10x developer improvement now. And it makes sense. Like ArWeave is a hard drive, right? But you don't try and write sectors to your hard drive. No, you have a file system that's in the way that sort of abstracts away a bunch of the complexity, allows you to, in the case of like ARFS, to updatable files and this kind of thing, where you, of course, this is on ArWeave, you get like the existing log of it over time, but you can, update where that's pointing to, which is super powerful. I'm very excited to see where people take this. And there's so many interesting applications that can be built on the fact that this is probably the most secure file storage application in the world, because you can it essentially has the same security model as MetaMask, but very soon you're going to be able to use a ledger with it. So now you'll be able to store your files and have them secured by a physical hardware security module, which is just like unbelievable levels of security that you absolutely couldn't get in Web 2 world. So yeah, anyway, congratulations on all the progress, Phil. This is really just awesome to see.